county get the help that they need. But now let's come back to studio and have a conversation surrounding talent. And remember that the country right now has a new curriculum, that is the competency-based curriculum, that includes talent as a very core and special subject when it comes to raising individuals and getting them ready for the market. And in studio with me is Monica Buka, founder, Ndoto Zetu za Africa Foundation. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Now just take us through Ndoto za Africa Foundation and what motivates you in making sure that this talent is nurtured, is well prepared and ready for the market.
Ndoto za Africa, first of all, thank you for having me. Ndoto za Africa organization is based in Germany. We registered back in the year 2017, and our aim was to specialize in identifying and nurturing developing talent in Africa and beyond. And so they say charity begins at home, and so start from Kenya.
So how then do we look at talent in terms of not just someone being able to play a guitar, someone not being able to play football, but turning that into a venture that they can survive on?
There's one thing that I always say, that we come with our internal GPS from birth. And once somebody is born, once they cry, somebody will pick them up. They've already led and said what they want to do. But when we grow up, we meet very many no's. You're told, do not do that, do not pick that. And then you one person, they start getting confused about that. And so they try and do what they've been told to do. But in real sense, there is something within us. There is power within us that we can use to grow our economy.
And then now we look at the current curriculum that we have, the competency-based curriculum, is in place to make sure that they spot talent at a very young age and build on that as a child grows. So that is at the primary level and senior primary, that is higher primary. But as we talk about this, how do we take this to tertiary levels who've not gone through the CBC curriculum?
Just like I've said, that there is something within us, and that is a gift. And a gift is something that somebody will do with the least amount of effort. And so there's something that someone just finds out there in tertiary, and they've been advised to go study medicine, but they feel like they should be in the field just playing football. So that which someone is passionate about, that can be nurtured and developed.
Now, Ndoto za Africa, the most important thing then is to identify a talent. What are some of the processes you put in place to make it easy for you to see a talent? And also, how do you build on that so that this child who is drawing, is an artist, can turn this to be the next Picasso that there is?
Yeah, you say that, and it reminds me of one of my girls who's now based in Italy. And I met her in school when she just loved pens, and right now she's an artist in Italy doing a very good job. So you start with talent assessment tests. As a teacher, first of all, the teachers are very important people. Then there is also the parent. There's something that your child likes to do over and over again. Take note of that and nurture that. If it's a good thing, it's going to help in future. So just that, and also we have programs for them so that they can know who they really are. And
as a teacher yourself, for a very long time, it has been a question of make sure you study to pass exams. But now we have the CBC that is telling teachers to don't only tell them to pass exams, but to also take advantage of their talent. If they are good swimmers, just take them to a pool and train them how to swim. So how important are teachers in all these conversation of identifying talent and making sure that it grows?
The teacher is a very important person in that they are there with the children. And what children do, they pick what someone does. You know, they're not really there to be taught, but they want to catch what someone is doing. And they start that even from the house. So when the teacher who spends more hours with them gets that and nurtures that, they are taking them to the next level and giving them, helping them embrace the future. Yeah.
Now, in the world where the internet is there, you know, others would argue that the internet has made children just close themselves up in their houses and not get out because they can watch. But let's take advantage of internet in making people be able to know what they can do and how different they can do it.
Internet has made the world very small, and it has become a small village where you can communicate with anyone from any place, and you can identify another person who has the same talent, and you both can collaborate and do the same thing and come out with something wonderful to give the world. So internet is very good in that our children who could not travel can now be able to just communicate with the other children in the other worlds, you know, and see what they can do together. I remember there's a time where we had pen pals, and your letter would take so long before it comes to you, and you are waiting for them also. They are waiting for you to reply. But right now, look at the world. It is so near. That other person can send you a code when it comes to coding. It can send you a program, and you can work on it and give it back and come up with a beautiful innovation.
So how has it made it easier for those that have this talent, have been made to study and pass? How has the internet made it easy for them to just follow their dreams? And even as a foundation where you said, how easy is it for you to manage them using the internet?
We leverage on mainly we leverage on internet and social media, and using applications like Zoom, we are able to have classes for the talented students and make sure that they get hooked up with or coordinated with mentors who can help them. And right now, like even in the LinkedIn, it's very easy to go to somebody who's talented. If, for example, he's a footballer, he's on LinkedIn, it's very easy to go to their DM, talk to them, and just ask them a few questions. Everybody is ready to answer and mentor another person.
After identifying these talents, culturing them and carrying them and making them ready for the market out there. I mean, in Kenya, we have great athletes that we have. We have great doctors. We have a lot of good coders in this country. But how do we then come with a reward system, a way to acknowledge them so that they are not only good at what they do, but they can become a platform of inspiration for others who would want to follow through their line?
I think infrastructure is very important so that they can be put in sort of like a place in a community where you know that this set of people are the ones who are coders, and have a database where someone can reach them very easily through the internet. And when they need scholarships, and probably someone is doing scouting when it comes to football and soccer and even basketball, then it is easy for them to be identified. And that can be done very well, and we have done that too through the internet.
You said that talent is a means of employment, right? And since we realize that it is a means of employment, what should the governments that do exist, the Kenyan government, the county governments, and various other stakeholders, what must they do to ensure that these talents are taken care of? Because they get in to fill a gap that governments across the world are struggling with.
Infrastructure is important. If it's music rooms, let them have music rooms in schools, even in workplaces, you know. Let that person make sure that they take advantage of what is there available so that they can nurture their talent. Another thing is that give them, let there be funding. Let there be funding for the children, for the generation that is coming, and not just as funding, but as investment, so that it can grow our economy. Yeah.
Do you think the talent has space in Kenya?
Most definitely. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if we do not have that in Kenya. I believe in my country. I believe in a nation that is very resilient, and we know how to tackle our obstacles. And once we get something going, we can do it to the best of our ability. The majority of us are. Did you know that the majority of us are the ones who've built the Middle East? Yes. So why can't we build our nation? So my quest is just that let's use that so that we can build our nation and just be on the same level with the other people in the globe.
Now, as we speak right now, the government has launched an initiative called Talanta Hela that is targeting the young, talented individuals. What's your take on that? And what must the government keep doing to make sure that such initiatives don't just become an idea of a government, that another government would come with its own idea, so that if Talanta Hela is there, it is an initiative that gets to be absorbed and gets to be inherited by governments that come?
I will say, one thing I'd say is let it be family oriented. Let it start from the family. Let us go to where the mother nurtures the child, because she's the first person who meets that child. So let them, the father and the mother, know what is best for them. By the time they're going to school, it is known that this child is talented in this, and then from there, that's when they can come nationwide. For example, we have Angela Okutoi, who was nurtured by her uncle, and right now she's in the international spaces doing wonderful things with tennis. We also can take examples from other countries, for example, like Porsche, something that we really love. You know, people dream of driving a Porsche. Entrepreneurs, that's what they dream of. And so Porsche was a family-oriented business. It's someone's name. Like, for example, my name is Buka. So just start that and start a business out of that. So us having talent-oriented businesses, and which are family, within the family environment, will be a very good thing. And then the government can catch up from that.
And finally, as an international speaker, you've traveled wide and large, you've dealt with talents inside Kenya and outside. What are others doing better than we are doing back home, and how do we improve? Do we need to go benchmark?
Yes. Again, family oriented. It starts with the family. I don't know why we keep running away from family and saying that, oh, you know, it's teacher who said, you know, the government has said, let's talk to mama and papa in the home, and let's see what they were talented in, because that could be a legacy that can be taken to many generations. And in this case, I would mention, Adidas. Adidas is a very well-known brand which was started by brothers in a washroom where the mother was washing clothes, and right now it's worldwide. Everybody dreams to wear to adorn an Adidas. There's also there's the Porsche that I've talked about. There's also the Staedtler pencil that was started in the 1836, in the year 1836. And it is a pencil. I mention this one always because it's a pencil that we use. It is brought here in Kenya for as a donation for our children. And it's something that we can do when we plant more trees. We can make our own pencils, or we even come with sustainable methods of creating things like that. And
you've said that family is very important when it comes to seeing talents. Now, I want you to speak to parents out there who don't regard talent as important, but to only focus on books and pass. Yet maybe what is needed is to take advantage of the talent in their homes. So just speak to parents in a minute.
Okay, to the parents, my fellow parents, because I'm a parent, and I will not do what I don't say. I will not say what I don't do, rather. I would say start with your children when they are very young. Identify what they can do best with the least amount of effort, nurture that, and then develop that. By the time the teacher gets your child, you already know, and you both know what legacy you're going to have in the future.
Monica Booker, founder Ndoto za Africa Foundation, urging parents